Handmaid's Tale is a Hulu original series that has taken the world by storm. Best described as a dystopian tragedy, the story takes place after a second civil war that sees women forced into childbearing slavery at the hands of men. The show was recently picked up for a fourth season, and fans have been going crazy with rumors about what this season could have in store for our favorite characters. Before we jump into it, be sure to hit that like button and ring the notification bell for more videos. Hannah may become an aunt. A young girl is brought up in Gilead by a well-known commander. She becomes one of the lead stars of the Testaments and is easily one of the most memorable characters. Angus Jemima, the young girl, soon learns that her mother was a handmaid that was forced to run away with her. We don't know too much about how this happened or what this entailed, but Agnes may end up being June's real daughter, Hannah, who is eventually renamed Agnes. As time goes by, Agnes becomes a supplicant in the Testaments, though this is more easily described as an aunt. She does this so that she doesn't have to be forced into marrying a commander whom she has no feelings toward. This arranged marriage was set up when Agnes was still a preteen, with the commander trying to force her into slavery as soon as she reaches childbearing age. As Agnes grows closer to this age with each passing day, it would make sense that she may join the group of aunts to avoid being forced into giving birth to children she doesn't want. The Fall of Gilead. So, we are all painfully aware that the Testaments was created to show how Gilead eventually falls after resorting to totalitarian lifestyle. Fans of the show have been long awaiting this moment, and it seems like we may finally get what we've been waiting for in Season 4. The only catch is that Season 4 may take place a little bit too soon, so Gilead may not officially fall until Season 5 or 6. Though we can expect that the cracks will begin to appear all throughout the new season, as the country begins to fracture under the pressure of its own weight. Lifestyles like this cannot go on forever, as is obvious by history throughout the years. MAYDAY will be incredibly important in the new season, but some viewers believe that new technological innovations could bring the lifestyle even closer to collapse than ever before.
You're not you. I'm not me. This is a transaction.
June will go underground with MAYDAY. Near the end of Season 3, we learn that June has got herself into a very difficult predicament. She has just been shot, and this brings her closer to death's door than ever before. She will most likely be okay. Obviously, the series would be nothing without her, but we don't know this for sure. If she manages to pull through, it's pretty apparent that life, for her, will never be like it was before. She has gone way too far this time. She spent so much of her life bringing at least 52 children out of Gilead, so the chances of her returning to her old life are slim and none. The Testaments tells the story of Agnes and Nicole's mother. Her mother is believed to be working in Canada while helping out the MAYDAY operation. She was the reason Nicole was able to escape Gilead in the first place. Alfred did what she felt she needed to do by staying out of the public eye and hiding away, far away from her daughters for countless years. She felt this would keep them safe, and she seems to have mostly been correct. It seems like June may soon follow in her footsteps and do everything she can to stay active in MAYDAY while working outside of Gilead.
I'm sorry. Let her go.
Fred Waterford will die. This is another theory that popped up in the historical notes section of the novel, so we can assume that this will be true for the series as well. The notes discuss how Professor Pishotu had reason to believe that a man named Fred Waterford could have been working as Alfred's commander. This is only a theory, so we don't know this for certain, but it makes sense that Fred's story could be tightly interwoven with these historical beliefs. The theory says that Fred would have most likely passed away sometime around the events of Season 4. The notes also explain that Fred was most likely executed by Gilead, and we know that he was captured by police in Season 3. This makes sense that Fred could be transferred back to Gilead, where he will lose his life. Or, even more shocking, he may lose his life while he is still in Canada. Regardless of how it plays out, we can assume that this will most likely be the final season for Fred Waterford. What a shame. June has a near-death experience. This theory piggybacks off a few other theories that insist that June is the mother of both Agnes and Nicole. It is pretty safe to assume these things at this point, but we have to keep our options open. The theory claims that June will have yet another near-death experience, though she will survive the wound she received at the end of Season 3 and live to tell her story. This theory comes from a file that Agnes Jemima found that claimed her mother was the victim of 2 elimination attempts that failed. We know June has her work cut out for her in the coming seasons, but it seems like she will make it out alive. Aunt Lydia will betray Gilead. As we wrap things up, this theory takes us to the story of Aunt Lydia. Throughout the show, Lydia is depicted as a terrible mother that seems to want nothing more than to find comfort in the pain of others. Though there are a few moments throughout the show that seem like Lydia may actually have a heart. But this seems unlikely, though if we look to the Testaments, the story of Lydia becomes a bit more clear. The book explains how Lydia had been working as a spy for the MAYDAY resistance. It also explains how she was one of the key members that led to Gilead's eventual downfall. This could mean that she will soon betray Gilead after doing her best to fit in for all these years. We don't know for sure, but Lydia's future may soon make a drastic change. The hidden ring of assault. This scene is jarring because it echoes so much of what is really going on in our society today. Fred takes June to an underground area where the commanders are seen deliberately disobeying their own orders. She sees dozens of underground prostitutes and former handmaids that are forced against their will to have relations with the commanders. The commanders don't seem to care one way or the other what happens to these women, and they do their best to keep their nasty deeds a secret from the outside. Janine gives birth. Early in the first season, we get to see what happens if a handmaid is able to carry her child to term. Much like you'd expect, the baby is pried from her body and given to a wife. The biological mother doesn't even get a chance to hold her child or kiss him goodbye. She is treated like an animal or a machine that is used up until it is no longer of need, then tossed aside like trash. This is the harsh reality for these girls, and the scene of Janine's birth does an amazing job at explaining what these women go through every 9 months, if they're lucky enough to make it that long. The ceremony. There isn't one particular scene involving the ceremony that is difficult to watch. Anytime the ceremony is performed, it is overly heinous and just downright disturbing, though it is essentially the basis of the entire series. While we hope the events of this series don't eventually repeat themselves in the real world, we all have to admit that the fictional world of The Handmaid's Tale seems closer than it is farther away. Each day, the world is controlled by terrible people who think of no one but themselves, and The Handmaid's Tale proves that. If left unchecked, these people will twist and manipulate the world to best suit their own needs and desires. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button and ring the notification bell for more videos.